Not many know of the tragic tale of Nakai the Wanderer. Why does he wander? Why does he not have a home? Well, I'm here to tell you guys today in this epic showdown and battle. When Nakai was but a wee little spawnling, he had a birthday thrown for him, and what happened on his birthday? He got given a birthday balloon. Alas, it was blown away in a strong wind, and since then, he's been a wrathful creature with a desire to hunt down and slaughter every balloon he sees. And across at the far side of the battlefield, there is a balloon being brought, which means you know what has to happen. Nakai has to get down and dirty and start slaughtering some manlins. Welcome to this Immortal Empires Early Access Showdown. I'm a rubber duck of war taking on Samurai Warrior, Dinos versus Grand Cafe, coming in with a bit of a mean build, it must be said, but a fun one nonetheless. So let's get into this. With red-crested skinks and skink cohorts making up our main battle line because I don't give a damn about our frontline infantry. We've got a skink priest of beast with manticore summon, the Pan's impenetrable pelt, as well as the curse there. Some nice little utility spells. With Nakai the Wanderer coming in with all the goodies. And then in the distance, we have gone for a full, or not full vanguard, but a large vanguard contingent. Oh, a bit of maps clipping here as well. That's, I guess we're hiding behind this, like, weird little ledge here. So we have a load of chameleon stalkers. We have the Pohopak cohort, the Geltblom's terrors, as well as the Pohawk sentinels and Terran riders up in the skies. Look at the Geltblom terror in all its glory. Look at those icy eyes. How can you not fall in love? Let's give him a little neck scratch just to let him know he is the best of boyos right now. Looking forward to see them in action. So yeah, going for a large kind of a vanguard approach here. Not normally considered too good of an option here for the Dino folk, but I think he can do pretty good up against Grand Cafe, who often bring a load of ranged troops. And speaking of ranged troops, we have double Celestial Dragon Crossbowmen in the back, a load of Jade Lancers and Peasant Horsemen, and then a load of Pointy Spears. So Jade Warriors and then Peasant Long Spearmen just making up the main battalion. We've got a Skyjunk up in the skies. We have Great Longmar Riders, as well as a Dragon-Blooded Lord of Yin Magic. Coming in with the Ancestral Warriors summon, of course. We don't actually have the talons. This is a weird sight to behold, but we have Ancestral Warriors. We have a Blossom Wind, might be quite good up against the Dinos, who do normally have a lot of armor. There is no Sarus on the battlefield, though, so it may be a bit wasted. But Storm of Shadows is always fantastic and great. Now, at this point, my opponent realizes, like, where on earth is the entirety of my build? And it's popping up behind him, so he starts reallocating a lot of his forces to get back here to try to shut down this scary situation. Pohopak cohort's going to be moving up the left-hand side. The Chameleon Stalker's getting nice and aggressive here. You can see some fire bowler shots coming in, raining at pretty large amounts of damage down on the Peasant Horsemen. Alas, the Great Longmar Riders will be able to get in there and intercept us. But the Pohawk Sentinels are able to just about swiftly dive through the battle line of the enemy, and a lovely little rock drop is what awaits these Celestial Dragon Crossbowmen, who attempt to get out of the way, still take half HP damage, and then get jumped upon. That's going to probably be the end of their story. Skinks are currently trying to build up the courage to charge into the enemy. I'm assuming we're trying to micro our back line here, and it looks like the Pohopak cohort, able to countercharge the Peasant Horsemen, have overwhelmed them. They need to get the hell out of here, though. There's an Ancestral Warrior, someone being used in the back to try to work as a bit of a linchpin to kind of keep this Grand Cafe force ticking over and together. And the Pohopak cohort want to jump on top of these Jade Lancers, who are doing a fantastic amount of work up against the Chameleon Stalkers, pinning them in place here. Geltblom Terror, there's no pinning him in place, however, and he's doing some good work up against the Crossbowmen, forcing them away as Skinks and Chameleon Stalkers alike start shredding the back line of the enemy. And in comes Nakai, a little bit late to the party, but again, reminiscent about his lost balloon, does charge in and start running over some of the Jade Warriors, expect him to do relatively okay up against them. In the skies, Manticore is dueling at the Dragon-Blooded Lord, who definitely doesn't want to be taking this fight, and it looks like my opponent agrees, deciding to flee back instead, and also come in with a bit of a Storm of Shadows. It seems like the Jade Lancers have been dealt with. The Pohopak cohort had a pretty good job and a big hand in that. Geltblom Terror does dive in, and it looks like we are eventually going to be able to drag down a large amount of the enemy cavalry, which would be great, kind of taking away their mobility. Skinks are jumping on top of Crossbowmen, attempting to drag them low, but the Great Longmar Rider is being quite a pain in the butt. Likewise is the Skyjunk. I have literally nothing to kill it. I just have to accept it's going to do a load of damage. Nakai the Wanderer is trying. It has certainly been said. He's jumping in there and he's hitting some troops over at least. Nakai has been changed very slightly, I believe, like very slightly. And I think it's... I don't know, so... Oh no, it's still physical resistance, not damages. I think he's the same. I take that back. I think he's basically exactly the same, stat-wise. But maybe I'm wrong. You guys can pause and have a little look at their items and see if they seem different to you. But I'm pretty sure Nakai, at last, has not received any major buffs. Red Crusted Skinks are continuing to fight alongside the basic Skinks. Looks like the Pohopak cohort are running on dregs right now. They've been in the action quite a bit. They have helped finish off the Celestial Dragon Crossbowmen, which is certainly going to be quite nice. And now we have Stalkers popping some long-range precursor missile weapons into the front line. They seem to do very poor damage, though, even up against the Spearmen. Maybe it's because there's just so many of them, it's not very impactful. Pohopak cohorts are going to charge in as well, looking to just try and break this unit with overwhelming charges. Skyjunk does some nice damage to the Chameleon Stalkers, and the Great Longmars floating over there to deal with them. Likewise are the Horsemen. Lancers load, and the Chameleons are just jogging around. I really do like what they've done with a load of the maps, kind of remastering them almost. They look really stunning. The lighting on the majority of the maps they've changed is just like, it's so good. It's so good. Looks like we're going to get a Blossom Wind, just to see how this performs. I mean, it's probably going to kill a load of those Jade Warriors for us. Yeah, that was a good cast for us, I feel like. It did damage to the Skinks as well, but it's mainly designed to kill heavily armored troops, and of course, I don't have many on the battlefield. Gelblom Terror's been a bit of a chad. He's bouncing around, up to no good, up to 52 kills here. Nakai the Wanderer up to 66, though, definitely not wanting to get outdone. Skyjunk does pound down the Skinks. Really nasty kind of barrage of shots going in. Gelblom Terror's doing decent work, though. The Peasant Spearmen are just about holding them. Look at that! A little bomb got thrown over the edge by the Skyjunk. And that's going to be enough to break double Chameleon Stalkers. I like that quite a bit. Pohopak cohorts do have Cold Blow popped on them, trying to keep them in action. There's only 15 models left, though. Their colour scheme is dope. It looks so cool with the red, like, war paint on them. Gelblom Terror as well is trying his little hardest here to keep me in the action, but things are looking a little bit bleak. It looks like, we've managed to get a big Miasma Despair go down, though. That's certainly going to help out quite a bit. It looks like a lot of the peasants are starting to run in terror, as Nakai is still healthy, and as is the Geltblom itself. I'm running it desperately low on infantry, though. The Red Crested Skinks going through hell just to try to get in the fight, where they will most likely die due to the Skyjunk's kind of online pressure. 183 kills is gnarly right now. Now, we still do have Nakai, who's very good in blob fights, alongside the Gelblom Terror, who, of course, as his name would suggest, does indeed cause terror. With a curse go down, low melee defense, attack, accuracy, you name it, we're dropping it. And a lot of these units are starting to go down here, so maybe we're not out of this just yet. Where there's Nakai, where Nakai still stands, there is always hope for the lizardmen people. Skinks have been jumped, though, by, you know, a load of the cavalry, which is to be expected. The Skinks are kind of going to get just floored here. Gelblom Terror was considering going over there, but decides, you know what, I need to vibe with Nakai. We need to get on the same wavelength and try to come up with a plan to get ourselves out of this sticky situation. I don't think it's going to do them much good, though. We have some Skinks on arrival. I highly doubt I'm going to be allowed to get them back into action. There's still units of cavalry left kicking, as well as the Great Longmar Riders. And even if we're kind of able to get past them somehow, the Skyjunk can then finish off us at on long range, although he doesn't have too many good shots left right now. Looks like Primal Roar's gone down. Extra 40 melee attack and 20% physical resistance is rather tasty, particularly that physical resistance. Doing decent work to the Jade Warriors, though. We are eventually going to be able to grind down this blob, at least you would hope. Look at the Terror. He's got some fantastic animations. I love the jumping animation where he like bounds into the enemy. There we go. Look at him. He's such a happy little Carnosaur. Doing a solid amount of work. We do come with yet another curse, basically making all of these guys from Mighty Warriors of Grand Cafe into damp noodles being cooked up into a stir fry. So they're not enjoying that whatsoever, and they're kind of getting torn apart here. Nakai is really starting to slap cheeks as well, but there's just a load of cafe forces like rotating around, looking at the central portion, thinking, when is it our time to go into the madness? I'm going to fast forward a bit because, as you can see, it is just a blobfest down here on the ground. We're constantly popping miasmas of despairs as well in an attempt to break the enemy infantry. Gelblom Terror is going to struggle here, though. The Spearmen definitely get involved. The Spearmen are going to be the problem for me, realistically. Now, the Skink Priest is unfortunately going to break here, despite our best efforts. And then there's an Ancestral Warrior Summon. That is a beautiful play by Samurai, summoning the Warriors of Eons Past to hunt down the mighty Gelblom Terror and Nakai, and it's going to be enough to break us and force army losses. Well played to my opponent. I love the name Eastern River Lords. That is badass. But well played to Samurai Warrior for a deserved victory there. But we'll get him next time. Really fun game all around. I mean, the Gale Blonde Terror, come on. Come on. He's just fun. And 200 kills on Nakai. Don't look at the damage value, it'll break your heart, but 200 kills is what you should keep in the back of your mind. I also thought the Pohopak cohort performed relatively well, but man, yeah, that Sky Junk was gnarly. I really do think coatls are quite essential in this matchup anyway. They can get units close to the action. They've got fantastic abilities as well to bomb down the enemy, which is always useful against tightly packed forces like High Elves and Cafe themselves, and also it kind of counters Sky Junks rather nicely. Great Long Mars are paying 1.8k value on them, and I thought the cavalry management of my opponent was really top notch. I mean, the crossbow went down early, but after that he was really on board with bouncing around the battlefield and just running over little skinkies. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, smash that thumbs up button, leave a comment down below what you thought of the battle, and subscribe for more glorious content in the future. I'm dropping Immortal Empires content pretty much every single day. There's a load of links down below as well to Twitch, Patreon, and Discord. But apart from that, I've been Rubber Duck of War. Hope you guys have enjoyed, and until next time, peace, peace. And as always, stay awesome.